Hi, and welcome to our latest Big Y Local Love adventure. We're Big Y's Registered Dietitians. I'm Andrea.
And I'm Carrie, and we're here in Hadley, Massachusetts at Plainville Farm, the home of Big Y Butternut Squash.
My name's Sean. I'm the Big Y Local Produce Sales Manager. Would you guys like to go inside and meet Wally?
Sure. Yeah, let's go.
All right. Hi Wally, thanks again so much for having us here today.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you here.
So Big Y has been a partner with Plainville Farms for over 10 years. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the farm's history?
Well, Plainville Farm is a third-generation farm here in Hadley, which is the best soil in the world. It was started by my grandfather in the early 1900s. Then my father took it over, and now it's us. We grow a lot of butternut squash. We grow broccoli, cauliflower, asparagus, pretty much anything you want to eat.
So Wally, a lot of our shoppers really only think about local produce as being in the summer, but we partner with you guys all year round, like with this butternut squash.
Oh yeah, don't think that local farms just have stuff in the summertime. We store vegetables and we can ship it all the time. This is last summer in a skin. All the sunny weather, it's right here in this squash.
Can you show us how the product gets from the farm to our stores?
I sure can.
So what makes Hadley such a great place to farm?
There's a lot of things that make Hadley a great place to farm. First of all, we have the best soil in the world. It gives flavor to our stuff. If you eat Hadley vegetables versus vegetables from other places, you can taste the difference. The second thing about farming in Hadley is the people who live around us. Everybody in Hadley is so supportive of farmers, it's amazing. They actually let us drive down the roads with wide equipment without blowing their horns. They don't mind if we wake up early in the morning to do our work. If we make noise, it doesn't bother most people. It's just a perfect place to farm.
Sounds like a great neighborhood.
It is. We've got the best neighbors in the world. All right, we're now coming to our round table where we take them after they've been washed, label them, and put them in boxes. And I'd like you guys to try it, but before you do, you've got to cover your heads. This has to do with food safety. So, see,
nice hats.
They are nice hats.
Thanks, Wally.
Now remember, we're only taking the very best because this is for Big Y. So you'll take a squash, look at it. That one's not perfect in every way, so we'll peel that one. This is where we put the labels on, and then we just put it in a box.
Okay, so we should
Why
go
don't
in
you
a
try it?
line, right?
Yep, give it a whirl.
So what do you look for, Wally? Just kind of blemishes?
This is the way I teach people to pack. If you wouldn't buy it yourself, don't put it in a box.
Now, do you do anything with the peels?
Yeah, the peels are fed to animals. We try not to waste anything.
So now that you showed us how you process the whole butternut squash, how do you get to the chopped squash that we see in our stores?
It's easier to show you than to tell you. So let's go on in.
Wow, there's a lot going on in this room, Wally.
This is a busy room, and you have to be careful here because there's a lot of dangerous equipment.
So Wally, we didn't realize how much manual labor was involved here. Do you think we could give it a try?
We'd love to have you try it, but first I have to get you aprons and gloves.
Okay.
Here you go. You got to get suited up if you're going to peel squash. Here you go. Here's a process we use to get the cut squash ready for Big Y. It starts at one end of the room where the washed squash is dumped from a bin onto a table. Then they're put on peeling machines that peel them, and these peeling machines were made locally. They're designed to peel every individual shape of squash. The squash are all different sizes and shapes, and these machines will just adapt to it and peel them all. Then it goes on a table where someone cuts off the ends, takes off any peel that's left on the squash. Finally, it goes to another worker who takes the seeds out, and then we split the squash in half. From that point, it is diced up, put into plastic trays, and run through a heat wrapping machine, where first it wraps it, and then the heat shrinks the plastic, leaving a controlled environment for the squash. And for our plastic trays, after they're full of squash and wrap, we have a label dispenser that puts the date on it. So every package has a sell-by date and our label on it.
Don't look at me, just focus on the knife.
So Wally, thanks again for having us. It was so cool to see how you take your whole squash and all the work that goes into packaging it like this.
We were really glad you could come.
And be sure to pick up Plainville Farm's butternut squash at your local Big Y.
And check out more of our adventures of Big Y Local Love on BigY.com and follow us on Big Y's and Living Well Eating Smart's Facebook page and on Instagram.